is Masterclass. Oh, oh.
Hello viewers, welcome once again to Masterclass, the talk show with a bit of a twist. The talk show that invokes a thought process which brings about positive change within the community. As I always say to you, we're here to help you. We're here to share life's experiences as moms, as dads, as teachers, coaches, counselors, as advisors. We're going to be working with you today in talking about a topic that has provoked, that has raised a lot of dust within the community. The topic today is about child abuse. This is Masterclass, a talk show with a bit of a twist. Now, as we progress into the topic that talks about child abuse, we do understand that as parents, parenting is a very interesting part of life. A girl gets married, and then everybody is wishing that 9 months down the road there's going to be naming ceremony, and then the children come over and everybody's celebrating. At each point in time of this journey in life, it's amazing to think that nobody actually tries to instill into that woman, that man, what parenting is all about. We all just believe that it's automatic, it's natural, we'll get to understand. Once we'll just learn on the job, really. And to discuss this very important topic with me today are two very interesting, successful ladies. They are professionals, they are wives, they are mothers in their own field, and they've got lots of experiences. They've had successful careers, successful business, and they've raised successful children. I'm happy to introduce to you today one of my guests, Mrs. Helen Onyejije. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for honoring our invitation to join us today to be part of this program. On the other side of this gathering today with me is Mrs. Barbara Chukura. Barbara, thank you very much for coming on the program today.
Welcome.
Much appreciated.
Welcome.
Now, in moving forward, we do understand that everybody enjoys being a parent. But in enjoying what a parenting is all about, what do we really understand by parenting? What does it constitute? Parenting constitutes the pillar upon which the destiny of a child is built. So it is a very, very, very important topic that we're discussing today. Because the moment a child is born, that child is born empty. The child is born, even though with the Spirit of God in the child, but the child needs the parents to blossom, to bring out that thing inside of the child in order to allow the child fulfill destiny. So in talking about parenting and child abuse, sometimes parents usually they are ill prepared. They don't really know what to expect. You see a child from when the child is born, from the cradle, the child is cute. You know, if it's a female child, nice ribbons, beautiful pink dresses and all of that. If it's a boy, nicely dressed and everybody's happy. It gets to 1 year, they're celebrating birthdays, and the parents at that stage, they're ill-informed. Nobody prepares them for the future to say, as this child is growing, you need the skills to be able to raise this child, to be able to impart on the child. In taking this topic forward, Helen, I would like to actually sort of push this baton over to you to tell us at what stage in trying to raise children did you truly understand what parenting is all about?
I would say, like, right from the stage when they started growing, like learning how to talk. You know, first and foremost, getting them ready for like maybe school, little activities within the house. It all involves like discipline. The Bible says, train up a child in the way that they should go, so by the time they grow older, they won't depart from it. So what I did, or with my husband, what we did is like, you train them, you let them know good from bad, right from wrong, and like, you know, direct them in things that they actually have to do in a daily activity.
Okay.
Normally, get them up in the morning, get them ready for school. They have a certain time like for their breakfast, certain time for like going to sleep, certain time for like playtime and things like that. You as the parent, or we as the parents, it's our duty to actually, you know, make sure all this is emphasized inside the kids. They have to be disciplined right from the onset. So by the time they grow older, they can walk with this, they can run with it. As a parent, you wouldn't just say like, okay, in the morning you leave the kids, you neglect them, you don't give them their breakfast, or you get, you know, they have to get things for themselves. There's some parents out there whereby they think like, well, John is 5-year-old, he can just go to the fridge, get his cereal bar and get ready for school. No, they're still little. They're there for us to actually make sure that we're, you know, guiding them along the right path.
So in essence, you're talking about structure.
There has to be
that we need
structure.
to, from the onset, structure the life of a child. Because if you look at it, a child without a well-structured life grows up to become an individual who is obviously not structured, because even when they are not able to obviously keep a job, but if you don't have a structure, you don't know when to wake up, you don't know when to get ready to go to work, you don't know when to do the things you're supposed to do. So we're talking about principles. Sometimes you realize that some parents, they just assume that the children, they should know. And that's where you find sometimes parents, they get angry when a child, because they just assume, oh, you're supposed to know. So when a child does what you know, like the parents expect too much from the children.
Like with children and parents are role models for their children. So it's what they see you doing, they emulate it, and they like, you know, go like, oh, my dad does this, my mom does that. If your mom is a layabout, then obviously the children will grow up to be something like their parents. If their dad is a layabout and doesn't do anything, the children will also follow in those footsteps. But you say, oh, my dad is hardworking, he gets up in the morning, he does this and this and this. Sometimes you see children, like they say, what do you want to be in future? I want to be this, I want to be that. But if you have a child whereby the parents do nothing, what do you want to become in future? I don't really know.
Okay.
When my kids were growing up, basically you ask them, what do you want to be in future? One of them said, I want to be an engineer. You know, because this is what they see their parents doing. You know, or your mom, what do you want to be? I want to be a doctor, a nurse, because that's what their parents are doing. But if you're a parent who's at home 5 days a week or 7 days a week doing absolutely nothing, the children think, oh, they have to grow up in that way. A lot of people we see in this country nowadays, they think the best thing for them, the moment they get to the age of 17, 18, they're not inspired to go out there and look for jobs or, you know, get a career or something. All they want to do is like, well, the state is going to provide for me.
Because
you know?
they obviously they've seen their
their
mom and dad
parents, they've seen
doing
their mom and
so it
dad.
becomes a vicious circle.
Vicious circle.
Now, in talking about structure, parenting, it's not an easy job. It's not. It's, even though we sort of want to take it lightly, it's a full-time job, and it requires commitment. Barbara, in moving forward, obviously, I want to take it up from what Helen just said. Parenting requires, in other words, what Helen has said, it requires commitment, full-time commitment. It's not it's not a joke in trying to raise children. Remember, you're trying to raise the future of tomorrow. And that a child who now grows up to become a responsible adult. So you need to actually imbibe a lot into the child. So obviously it requires commitment. In talking about commitment, what is your experience in your experience in life about raising children, about being able to commit full time in raising your children?
I could just say that as a parent, it needs a lot of commitment. You must be ready to be a parent. A lot of people actually just want to have children without being equipped themselves. Parenthood should come out of love. you've actually structured your own life and you feel that I've got to a stage now that I'm ready to have children, I'm ready to have a child and put what you have into that child. So I find that with being a parent, you have to, the first thing when you have your child is to love the child, to give them so much love. From the time you see the child, this is a beautiful baby, and you actually love them, you guide them, you support them. So with that, I think the first thing you should do is to extend love into that child.
In trying to extend that love into the child, would it be important for you to also sort of plan the child, obviously the bearing of the child, i.e., is it important or is it necessary when you're in a relationship with a partner, with a spouse, to also take into consideration the children, the future children they're going to raise with that person? So is it important in making that life decision to be with somebody the rest of your life, to think about how you're going to raise children with this person? What I mean in essence is, it is if you get married to a man that you don't share the same ideologies in life, would you think that there's going to be a crisis, especially in raising children? Because these children, they didn't ask to be born. You find situations whereby the man, maybe because of the way he was raised up, believes that the children should watch TV 24/7. And the woman is saying, no, they shouldn't watch TV from Mondays through Fridays. Then they're only allowed to watch TV over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. And the man is saying, no, I don't see anything wrong. I was deprived of watching TV when I was, so give my child, I can afford it, allow these children to watch television as much as they are. Is it important as a woman to make an informed decision in deciding to say, this is somebody I want to live with the rest of my life, to understand that love is not enough. The ideologies that you share with that man, it's important in molding the kind of children the two of you will have tomorrow.
Yes.
Do you agree with me?
I quite agree with you. Before you get married to a man, you must make sure that you find a fulfillment in the man. You and this man can actually can produce a good child for the future. Now, for example, you must agree with your husband in a lot of situations before even thinking of having children with a man. Say for example, you want to send a child to school. You must be prepared. You must be prepared to say to your husband that these children, the sort of school you want to send them to, the sort of thing the sort of money you have to raise. A child, some men will tell you, okay, I want my child to go to a public school. The wife will say, okay, I want the child to go to a state school. If the husband does not agree with you, you as a woman must be strong enough to say that you're able to support your children, to give them a good education, spend more time with them educationally, spend more time with them, teaching them the right way to go about structuring their lives.
That's correct. So what we're trying to make our viewers understand is that it is important in making a life decision to be with somebody,
yes,
that you think ahead of the children you're going to raise. How many children am I going to raise with this man? Is it 3 children? Is it 4 children? Are we capable of fulfilling the children's lives' destiny? It's like having a farmland or going to buy an expensive car. Maybe I've got £10,000 in my savings and I want to buy a car of £100,000. Do I need to now calculate and say, though, I can't afford that expensive car. This is the one I can afford. I can afford the £2,000 one, and then I'll have extras for the savings against the rainy day tomorrow. Because people just think having children is all about being able. Sometimes they actually really want to compete. Oh, my neighbor's wife just had a child in December, so next year my wife too will be our naming ceremony. So they just produce the children 4, 5, 7. Are you able, have you looked at your temperament? Do you have the capability, do you have the financial resources to be able to raise these children so that they can be successful tomorrow in life? Have you sat down with that man to discuss, to plan about raising these children? Or is it just like, oh, I've met this man, he loves me, I love him, let's have children together, no plans, no nothing. The government will take care of us, the worst of all will go on benefits. In doing that, are you planning the best for the life of those children? So in essence, what I'm trying to say is that in making decisions about getting married from the inception, it is important that we think ahead also of the product of that relationship. What will this relationship produce in the future, in the next 6 months, in the next 1 year, in the next 5 years? If we have children, how are we going to raise the children? Are we going to have one voice? Does this man or this woman look like somebody who I can raise children with? Does the ideologies of this man tally with my own ideologies? Because there are people who definitely don't know the difference between what is good and what is bad.